for a franchise, whatever the best move is for a coach, owner, a GM.
Yeah.
They look at those things and they make a decision. It's like that. You could be, having a loving conversation one day, and then the next week they're shipping you away.
Damn,
So,
it's like that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
No heads up?
No, I mean, it's wild.
All right, guys, running back for the Raiders, Alex Mattison. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
First Raiders I've had on the show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, I like that.
Got to
Love
represent.
that. Yeah,
Las
I appreciate
Vegas.
it.
How's the season going so far?
It's going. It's going. It's one of those seasons that's just, a lot of adversity, but a lot of football left. So we're looking forward to the next opportunity. Just got to keep chipping away, keep grinding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Has it been a big change from the Vikings?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest change, of course, is the weather. It's like night and day.
Super hot out
Yeah,
here.
I love it. I'm from California, San Bernardino, California. So being back on the West Coast feels amazing, feels good. But yeah, it's just a little different, just different way that things are. All the different teams around the league have different ways that they do things, different way that they have, their lifts versus, their scheduling, where it's like here we practice earlier in the day than Minnesota was later in the day. So just little things like that are different.
Right. You had to memorize all the plays too.
Yeah, that too, yeah. Luckily, the system that we're in now is a system that is like a combination of the systems that I've been a part of in Minnesota. So pretty familiar with like the different schemes and everything like that. So that's a good part.
Oh,
about
nice.
It. Yeah.
So there were some similar plays and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. The only difference is like some of the verbiage. But
Okay.
I mean, there's some that's the same, and you listen to it and you're like, I wonder if that's the same as what it was.
Right.
And it is. And then there's sometimes where there's like a word and you think of what it was in Minnesota, right? And no, that word is a different play here. So you just kind of got to learn how to disconnect them.
Have you ever played against a team where they found out your plays and they kind of knew what you were about to do?
I've never known for a fact, but I've lined up and they're like, okay, yeah, he's doing this. He's doing and I'm just like, how do they know that? But, it comes down to like being a football player, it comes down to prepping all week.
Right.
They've probably seen when they line up in this formation and it's 3rd and 8, they're either doing this or they're doing that.
Right.
So like you get down to it and that's what they do. A lot of like coin flips when it comes down to formations and things like that.
That awareness, right?
Yeah.
So do you have to change the plays throughout the season, like the words, what you call them, stuff?
Sometimes, yeah. You get to a point where you either add in new stuff or you start to switch up your verbiage a little bit. I've seen that a lot with like snap counts.
Yeah.
Like if you're lining up and you're like, we're going on this count, they know what that snap count is, so they start to jump the count. They start to like get a feel for it, so you have to switch it up all the time.
Yeah, because I see the guys that get the most sacks. It almost seems like they know what's coming.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny because sometimes you'll have guys that line up and they like, I don't know how guys do it because like I'm in a mode where I'm like thinking to myself about all the different things that I have to do, where I'm going, what my alignment is, what my aiming point, what the defense is doing. But there's guys that'll be on this side of the ball, they're lined up and they're just like talking mess and just like, yeah, it's funny because like I'll be there and if I do a point, oh, you're not, that's a fake point. And I'm like, damn, like how you even?
You're locked in.
Yeah.
There's people trying to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
Talk smack or whatever, get in your head.
Yeah.
You ever let that happen?
It doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me. There was a time I remember Jamal Adams, he got mad at me because I had, I think, an explosive screen and he tried to make the tackle and I kind of broke his tackle but ended up out of bounds. So when I got up, he was like talking mess and I honestly couldn't understand what he was saying. So I like looked at him and asked, I said, what? And he like tried to like, continue to talk mess. And I was just like, and just kept going. And I could tell he was like frustrated that I didn't talk back to him. But it's funny to me because like it doesn't faze me.
Yeah. Well, some people use it to play better. They like to get riled up, right?
Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan type stuff.
Yeah, definitely. There's some guys. I mean, there were some guys. Trevathan, playing against him when he was in Chicago. He's one of those guys like all game long.
Yeah. He's just yapping out there.
Just yapping. Doesn't have any. that has nothing to do with you maybe, but he's just yapping
Yeah.
all game long.
Well, I hoop a bit, and I actually play better when people start talking.
Yeah. See, and sometimes it does like, it's like, okay, you want to talk? All right, let's do this. I get that feeling sometimes. Guys will do like extra stuff after the play where they kind of like land on you and give you a little like nudge
Yeah, I've seen that.
and call you certain words, whatever. And it's like, all right, bet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do. I just tap into mode. Just like, all right, bet.
That must hurt, man, when you're at the bottom of a pile with 8 dudes on you.
Oh, man. It's worse when there's like a defensive lineman. Those guys are 300 plus pounds. And they will purposely like dead weight on top of you because it like really just, it drains you when you get tackled. And they might not even like hit you hard or anything. But if they like feel you under them, they'll just like drop their weight for as long as they can. Yeah.
See, this is the stuff people watching don't even realize.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
Damn.
It happened to me like twice last game.
Oh, man.
And they're just like squeezed. They got a good grip on you, and they just kind of like lean up and just like let their dead weight fall until someone comes and like pushes them off.
Yeah, because they got to be helped up, right?
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, because then next play, you're probably gassed.
Yeah. But it's one of those things you got to tap in. Like there's a difference between like being in shape and being in football shape. And that's what the difference is. Like you got to be able to take hits, hit people, and keep going. Next play.
Absolutely.
And you can't just, run. People can run laps all they want to and be in shape, be conditioned and all that. But there's like that extra different type of football conditioning when it comes down to like taking hits and getting a guy, 4 people laying on top of you. And then you got to get up and get on the ball and run again.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is why injuries are so common.
Yeah. That fatigue sets in. And your body just does what it does.
Especially your position.
Yeah.
I feel like almost every starting running back is dealing with something.
Yeah. It's day in, day out. It's like, how does my hip feel? How does my ankle feel? It's just always something that she's like week to week. Just got to get better.
It's got to be one of the most vulnerable positions, if I had to guess.
Yeah. I feel like other than like the linemen, like we get touched every play, really. Like for the majority of the part, we're like 97% of the game, we're getting touched. Whether that's picking up a blitz, catching the ball at the backfield, or running the football, we're having to deal with some contact.
Yeah. Damn, you must have a fearless mindset then. That's crazy to think about. 97% of the time you're getting touched up every play.
Yeah, and that's why like for me, I like always trying to like fight for a little bit. I tell people, the value of the running back position is a lot higher than as it is. It's a lot higher than it actually is. Like on paper right now, it's been devalued so much. But I mean, you see guys like Saquon and even a great duo over in Detroit with David Montgomery and Gibbs, like bringing that value back to the running back position because there's more than just running the football. It's running the ball, catching the ball, picking up blitzes, all of those things that we do on a every down basis. That's
right.
Like we're really like workhorses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I grew up in Jersey, so as a Giants fan, losing Saquon was tough.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, that one hurt. He's a beast.
Yeah, no,
Can't believe they let him go.
I thought he was gonna end up being like a lifetime.
Same.
Like, just go ahead and retire as a Giant, but
that's rare
plans.
these days.
Yeah, it is. But it worked out for him. He's doing a great job right
Crushing
now.
it now. Yeah, I'm happy for him. But yeah, the business side of the sports industry is tough. It's ruthless, right? Like they'll just trade you if they want to make money or whatever. So
yeah, that's one thing I learned too. Just like it's a business. It really is. Like at the end of the day, whatever's the best move for a franchise, whatever the best move is for a coach, owner, a GM.
Yeah,
they look at those things and they make a decision. It's like that. You could be, having a loving conversation one day, and then the next week they're shipping you away.
Damn,
So,
it's like that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
no heads up.
No, I mean it's it's wild.
Wow.
It's wild. The way that my career in Minnesota ended was pretty abrupt.
You had
and
no heads up?
None at all.
Wow. And you were there for 4 years, right?
5
5
Yeah.
years. So
Yeah.
you were like one of the vets on that team.
Yeah. And I had another year in my deal, and it just kind of, they decided that they were going to go in a different direction.
Did they tell you a reason ever?
Not to the depths of like really understanding what the reason was.
Yeah.
Kind of left me and my agent up in smokes when it comes down to like figuring out what the pinpoint reason was. But just one of those things that they just say, they feel like they want to go in a different direction. And it was like the least expected call that I got.
Damn.
Yeah.
So did that really hurt you at the time?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was one of those ones. I mean, I went into that off season, like I remember talking to my wife, like I'm grinding for more in Minnesota. Like I want to grind so that this next season coming up, we earn more years here. So like I can play as long as I can in Minnesota.
Right.
And we had just built a house and everything, and had another year left, and got a great workout in that morning. And later that day, got a call from a coach, and we were chopping it up, and then bam, dropped the bomb on me.
So the coach is the one that tells you?
Yeah. I mean, it depends. I know a lot of different situations. Sometimes like the agent contact you and get a hold of you before.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they do their due diligence, and they do their respect, and they talk to you man to man and just, let you know what the situation is.
Damn. That's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought your whole career was going to be there.
Yeah. Or at least the majority of it.
Right. Because that was your final contract year, you said, right?
Yeah. So I would have ended up, so this would have been the last year on that deal. Then 6 years in, hopefully get some more time there. And then like, hey, maybe at 8 years, we figure out if we're going to continue to be able to stay here or go somewhere else, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I was thinking it was gonna be a beautiful little picture in Minnesota for a little bit longer at least.
Yeah. Damn. Because the average career is pretty short, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like 3 or 4 years.
So it was. Well, I would probably say that it maybe is around there collectively, but like looking at it from like a running back standpoint, it's down to 2.5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
2.5.
And I remember when I was a kid, it was like 4. The average was like 4 years for a running back. So you're like, okay, I want to go play 4+ if I can do it. And now they say the average for a running back is 2.5.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's scary because you're training your whole life for 2.5 years, basically.
Yeah. That's why I was like, my son, he will not play running back. He's going to be a receiver, DB, quarterback, something else if he wants to play football. But yeah, running back position is like, man, right now it's rough.
What do you think caused it to go from 4 to 2.5? Do you think the competition just got too much?
I think it has something to do with the competition. It has something to do with the way that the league has changed too, where you see like these super mega contracts with quarterbacks and receivers, right? So it's kind of like you have to have a star receiver, have to have a franchise quarterback, and then you kind of plug the pieces in around that. Then the tight ends are starting to, their value's going up because bigger body, nightmare for matchups. So you look at these 3 positions collectively and you start to figure out, okay, what can we do with this? Well, you either get like a secondary receiver that's like a secondary star receiver. So now you have 2 star receivers, a star tight end, and a franchise quarterback, and then you plug a piece in at running back, or you maybe invest in a top tier running back. But for the most part, it's a little bit more of a running back by committee now, where back in the day, you had the workhorse back, where it was like, you look at Jerome Bettis, you look at, even a little further, you got Steven Jackson and Marshawn Lynch and Adrian Peterson and Jamal Charles. Like, you look at those type of backs and that type of game, and there's guys that can do it, right? There's teams that can do it, but when you look at it from a standpoint of where the game's gone, you got the likes of Justin Jefferson and all these receivers that are top tier, and people that are following up behind that. You're getting 2 or 3 very notable receivers per team now, and the way that their demand is, and the quarterback position with the franchise QB and how much you're going to pay it, you have to like see the upside in that investment. So for me, I think it's just that the way the game has changed, it's kind of devalued the running back position a little bit just because the emphasis in these other position areas.
Right.
And, the running back by committee mentality, like you said, the competition has gotten a lot, I would say, more leveled out, where there's like a lot of top tier guys and there's a lot of guys that have to share the room. So, you go and you get 2 backs that are phenomenal. it's a win-win. One back is tired, the next back goes in, and he's also doing great. So when you can kind of do that in a running back room, they can kind of spare because it's like we got to go spend money somewhere else.
Right.
You got DNs that are getting paid now really big, safeties, corners that are, also getting those big contracts. So yeah, just overall, I think it's just the value of other positions kind of jumping up so quickly. You kind of have to suffer somewhere else.
I love how objective you are, because you could be taking this personally, but you're like, this is really like insightful information.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, for me, it's hard to take things personal in such a business network. Like once you get to the point where I'm at, where you understand like how much of a business it is, it's hard to take things personal. I mean, there's some things that rub you the wrong way, but you gotta look at it from the grand scheme of things. Right now, it's not our time. A few years ago, running backs were, had their stamp in the league, and it's like, okay, pay. We need to invest in this guy. We need this guy. We need that guy healthy. It was one of those things where it was a time where all the backs were, man, you want to have that back. And now it's like, whoa, do we want this back or do we want Stephon Diggs? Do we want, so.
Wait, the game's changed that much in a few years?
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember my second year was in the backfield with Dalvin Cook, and he re-signed an extension with the Vikings, 5-year deal. And, that was the time, it was him, Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara. All those guys were signing, I think Zeke, all those guys were signing extensions around the same time, big extensions. And that was like where the running back position, I think, hit that peak.
Yeah.
Where big contracts, big long-term extensions. And then after that, you start to see some of the guys don't make it to the end of the deal.
Because of injuries.
Well, not even that, just the way that it plays out. I mean, Dalvin Cook, elite player still to this day. Just unfortunate the way that the situation played out is he was slotted to make a certain amount of money. They didn't want to pay him that much money because either they couldn't because of the cap, or they needed to spend money elsewhere. So, we're gonna have to part ways. All his guaranteed money was up. It was a lot of different things where you look at the business aspect of it. But he's coming off of 4 years in a row, 1,000-yard season, 4 Pro Bowls in a row. I mean, since I've been there, I've seen nothing but elite out of him.
Yeah, that's unheard of.
You shake hands and say, hey, we're gonna have to cut our losses because.
Damn. So he didn't get the money?
No, I mean, well, he had all his guaranteed money.
Oh, okay.
I think there might have been a little bit of guaranteed money left that they probably took a hit on, but for the most part, all of his guaranteed money was up on the front end. So, they just cut him out of the last 2 years, and it's one of those things.
Wow.
Real business like.
Yeah, it's cutthroat, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the game changes so quick. And in the NBA, it's all shooting now.
Yeah.
Like even the bigs have to shoot.
Man, I think, who was I looking at that was pulling up? And I was like, why? Cat?
Yeah, he's pulling up like 8 shots a game.
I was like, yo, is this like, I thought he was, and I was like, I thought he was a big. And I was like, wait, no, he is a big. He's just pulling up from 3-point line. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you got to adapt. You probably had to change your game, right? Over the years.
Yeah. And that's the name of the game, especially in like professional sports, is like the times change. Every now and then, like you'll see like a big shift in the game. You'll see just like, oh, whoa, hold on. This is new. This is something that I, haven't really seen much of, but now everyone's doing it. So now you have to get good at that. When it came down to, for me, I would say like, there was a time where the way that tackling was.
Really?
Back when I was in college around 2017. So, 2017, 2018, like the big thing was like the gator roll tackle where they're grabbing guys, wrapping, and rolling. Then it kind of shifted. And now you see guys just like trying to lunge and throw their bodies without really wrapping up. So now you have a different type of mentality where it's like, well, now I can break tackles a different type of way. For me, giving away, I guess, a little bit of a secret, but like the way some of the backers play it, some of the safeties play it, I know that they're gonna come down and when they dip, their arms, they go back. So a lot of times what I do is I'll initiate contact and spin out of tackles.
Oh wow!
Because they can't get their arms to wrap. before that contact breaks. So there's little things like that I paid attention to, that I look at, and it helps your game.
That's super smart. So you're pretty, like, you're analyzing the way people are tackling.
Yeah,
Wow.
definitely.
I didn't know you were like researching that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's one of those things you look, you watch enough tape, you look at some guys, who likes to tackle low. So, like, okay, this game is a hurdle opportunity game. Some of the guys that, they come downhill. So what you can do with that is, my momentum, I'm going to use it against them where they think they won. But, if I kind of like press the brake and hit a spin move, or press the brake and use a stiff arm, like, they're out of control. So yeah, it's a bunch of that I look at. I look at different tendencies, different things, and then even from a broad perspective of like what's going on.
Right.
Like, I noticed, before the hip drop rule came in, I was like a big advocate for like, yo, like, how is it legal to tackle someone like that?
The hip drop, what's that?
It's when you grab someone kind of like up top and you drop your hip to the ground, and that's how a defender would tackle a runner that's trying to run past them. They grab them, drop their hip to the ground, drop all their weight.
Yeah.
And that is putting a runner at a position to suffer a lower leg injury. And I was a victim of that in college. Tore all the ligaments in my left ankle.
Damn.
In championship game, linebacker grabbed me and just dropped all his weight and got me good. And tore all the ligaments in my ankle. And so once I saw that happening, and there was a couple guys last year that were out for the season after it, and so they're looking at, okay, we got to make a rule change because now guys are really just starting to tackle like that. And you got a big 300+ pound D lineman that just grabs you and drops all his weight. I mean, good luck.
Yeah.
You're most likely going to get injured. So for me, I learned how to protect myself against stuff like that with my pad level, with just kind of like living to see another day.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
People don't even know this is going on in your head.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, like, if I see a big D lineman free, it's like, I'm going to try and do what I can, but if he grabs a hold of me, just let my body weight go and relax, and just like, we'll live to see another down.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot on the line with you. Like, if you get a major injury, like, that could end your career.
Yeah.
So that's scary, right?
Yeah. It's
a lot of
wild.
pressure.
Yeah. Especially at this point too, like, I'm 6 years in. I got to do what I can to stay healthy, make sure I'm out there on the field, make sure I get my chance, the best chance to keep going.
Just had a baby last month, right?
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, appreciate that.
The first one?
Yeah, it's my second.
Oh, second? Nice.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's beautiful. He's he's giving us a run for our money. Everyone asks me, they're like, "How are you getting good sleep?" And I'm like, yeah, for the most part. But babies are babies, But it's amazing. He's healthy, and my daughter, she's 2, so we just got a nice, perfect mixture right now.
Love him, man. I can't wait to have kids.
Yeah,
Getting married next year.
Oh yeah, congrats.
Yeah. We're 7 years in, so
nice.
It's almost time for kids.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. Were you high school sweethearts?
College. Yeah, we met in college. I didn't know her in high school. It was a different town in Jersey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hometown though?
I grew up. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
In Jersey.
That's dope. Yeah. Me and my wife, we high school.
Went
to high school together, and
that's irreplaceable, man.
Yeah.
I've learned that with my relationship, because I see all my single friends struggling right now, but this girl's been with me from rock bottom.
Man.
Same with you.
Yeah. My rock. Yeah. We just hit 10 years a couple weeks ago.
Congrats.
Yeah. Appreciate
That's
that.
rare these days, man.
Yeah, it is. That's why, I'm glad that she's here with me by my side through all the journey she's seen. I mean, she was here before the first offer rolled in. So,
wow.
Yeah. So
beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think? How do you think you've been able to make that work out, being a professional athlete and balancing that?
I mean, it really comes down to priorities. Comes down to how are you going to balance this life with trying to be the best husband, father, best friend, provider. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Because you travel a lot.
Yeah, it's hard because the schedule, the way the schedule is, the way that you have to, like, I do. I mean, a lot of people are different. I do a lot of taking care of my body. So, like, I know that part's also hard because, like, in season, even after practice, right? Like, I might be home and then I got a recovery session where I got to go get acupuncture. I got to go do this. And so that part I know is hard, like on a spouse, because it's like season is just like going. And we just really get an off day to be with our family. And even on my off day, I'm doing like boxing in the morning.
Wow.
Then I'm doing like anything like great opportunity like this to come sit down with you and talk. Then later in the evening, I'm going to do another like acupuncture, soft tissue massage session. So it's also just one of those things where like I just love and appreciate and respect her patience, and especially dealing with the toddler and a newborn right now is definitely hard.
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, yeah, we got to stop with the season babies, because it's definitely one of those times of the year where it's just like full-fledged
chaos, right?
Yeah.
You're probably working 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I got to try out some acupuncture. You're making me want to try it.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I was scared of it, but
Have you ever done needles?
nah.
It'll change your life.
Really?
Yeah.
It's that effective.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to have the right person. Shout out to Hillary out in Minnesota. She is phenomenal.
Oh, you go all the way there for it?
No, so when I was there, I was there for 5 years. I was able to just, have that relationship, got acupuncture twice a week. Maybe more if I was like really banged up from a game.
Yeah.
But I've been able to, now we have, such a great relationship where she can make trips, and in between the Viking schedule and our schedule, she makes it work where,
Wow.
She's not working. She can come out and I can get my body right.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So you got a spiritual side to you.
Yeah. I gotta make sure I'm right.
Yeah. Because acupuncture is like on the more spiritual side of things, right?
Yeah. And she does a good mixture of like sports acu. So it's a blend of not just like the ancient technique of acupuncture where they kind of just like hit trigger points.
Yeah.
But really a little bit deeper with the muscle tissue and breaking down your fascia, using like the TENS stem unit and fire cupping, and using a little bit of that soft tissue manual therapy as well. So a big mix of just like getting in there and making sure that everything's working and flowing great.
Wow. Love it, man. You're going to be playing into your 30s, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it as long as I can. I'm trying to. I feel good now,
Having a great season.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns already, right?
Yeah.
What's the most you've had in an NFL season?
That is a great question.
I'm surprised you don't know it.
I think 5.
Okay. So you might beat that this year, man.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I think I have, you said 3 and 1 receiving. So if I can just continue to just whether it's in the air, whether it's on the ground, just continue to stack those, put points on the board. That's one of the great feelings is, helping your team to a victory, helping your team score. So yeah, I look forward to that every time I touch the ball.
4 already. Wow. Yeah, you're definitely going to beat it.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
You might even hit 10.
Yeah, hopefully. Double digits.
Yeah,
double digits. I need that.
That doesn't happen often for running backs, right?
No. It's definitely one of those things that like you look at like 1,000-yard season and double-digit touchdowns. Like that's
Adrian Peterson status.
Yeah, you're living
that
good.
Dude was a machine.
Yeah.
I had him in fantasy.
God.
Oh my God, I was chilling. I knew I would win.
No, he's oh man, he's awesome. He was one of my inspirations.
Oh
growing up. Yeah.
I feel that.
It was pretty crazy because I got to play against him.
No way.
My rookie year when he went to he was in Washington.
I remember that.
And we played them, and I had a good game, and it was funny. It was just like crazy. I remember it was like a scene in a movie. Where I'm walking, and then like the circle kind of opens up, and he's standing there, and he's like, "Hey, man." Running out there like Beast Mode 2.0. And I was just like, yo, this is Adrian Peterson right now. And like, he just shows so much love and respect. And yeah, man, it was crazy. I have a great picture, and like,
I love it.
I got it framed. And
did you do a jersey swap?
No, I still need to get his jersey. Actually, we ended up connecting because he ended up in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the next year. And we connected, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna get you a jersey." So I gotta call him. I gotta hit him up. He said he'll give me a jersey, and I saw him actually last year, and he's like, "I ain't forgot about you." So
love it.
I think it's still on his mind a little bit. Make sure I get one of those.
He was still nice on Washington.
Yeah,
that's the crazy part because he was late 30s that year.
Yeah,
in age for a running back that's pretty old.
Yeah, no, he he's definitely one of a kind. And I think I don't know what it comes down to. And it comes down to like if it, like I said, it's a business. You never know when a back looks good. And it's like, well, why isn't he still playing? There's a business to things. Like, there's probably a minimum that you have to pay a guy like that to come be a part of your team and play. And, if we can go get a 21-year-old,
pay him a fifth of the price,
4th round, then, they start to kind of juggle those decisions.
Yeah, because when you get drafted, that's not guaranteed money, right?
No, you still have to make the team and everything, but you are on a deal. So like when you get drafted, you're on a 4-year deal.
Oh, 4 years right off the rip.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a pretty long contract for a rookie.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is like for us, I look at it from a standpoint of being in it for a while now. And I think that it should be shorter. I think like that's where we're going with trying to make that agreement with the NFL and the NFLPA is trying to get those years shorter because like I said, running back average now is 2.5 years.
Right.
So I'm signing a 4-year contract. The average for me to stay in this league is 2.5. Like it's not really making sense. And then there's guys that outplay, their contracts. There's guys that'll come in and the first 2 years are balling, Pro Bowlers.
Right.
But you're locked into a deal for another 2 years.
Damn. Yeah, so it should be 1 or 2 years, right?
Yeah, it should be. At least I would say 2 to 3. I get the business standpoint from owners, from teams and organizations. Like it can't be that quick to get to a second contract. But I do think like, you make it 3 versus 4. That's giving guys a better chance of, doing what they've always wanted to do. Set their family up for life and play ball at a high level and also be compensated for it.
Because you also probably see really talented people, but just the wrong team for them.
Yeah, definitely. That happens a lot.
Yeah, which sucks because they know they're good enough, but just the wrong system or the wrong team or the wrong coach.
Yeah, and then you see them go somewhere else and they flourish.
Right.
And, they might have been with another team for like 3 years and end up in another situation. They're doing amazing. So it's one of those things, like I said, it's just, it's
a lot of moving parts.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Has that ever happened to you, whether it was like high school, college, or pro, where the coach you didn't agree with?
Luckily, no.
Wow.
I've been blessed. I have never been a part of a situation where it didn't fit me or I disagreed heavily. There's probably times in a game, of course, where I'm like, yo, like we should have done something else.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody experienced that, but
Marshawn Lynch experienced that.
Yeah, exactly. But I've never been in a situation where it was like, I need to get out of here.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, because you can't really control that in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the NBA, if you're a star player, you have some control maybe.
Probably.
Of where you get traded to, but...
Yeah, and I've seen, from my perspective, how crazy it is that, like, the way that some guys can, like, hey, we want to team up and go to this team, and they'll make it happen.
Really?
Yeah, I think the whole, like, KD, Kyrie, and Harden.
Oh, yeah.
I feel, I don't know. From my perspective, it felt like they, like, planned to all go there.
Yeah.
I think
to the Nets, you're saying?
Blake Griffin was there at the time, too, right?
Brooklyn Nets, yeah.
Like, crazy.
Stacked.
But it didn't work out.
It's
too much star power or something. I don't know. Like, it didn't work out. But, yeah, it's like, it's crazy to see. I think those guys really, it's a smaller population.
Yeah.
And, when you're just that guy, of course, you can just kind of make some shots.
Yeah. Does that happen in the NFL where a team just has so many stars and talent and they don't win?
I think so. Trying to think of some teams for sure. But it definitely happens where they have the right guys, they have all the pieces, but they just don't pan out.
No chemistry yet, right?
I think it's a lot to do with the chemistry. You have to have good play calling as well. So, if a coach is not a defensive coach or an offensive coach, whatever the case may be, you can be a great team. You can even like dominate. But I always see those teams that don't have everything so much together, just have stars. Mm-hmm. They don't make it past first round playoffs.
Really? So you need everything. You need coaching. You need good GM.
Yeah, chemistry, the small things.
Yeah.
You need some of those detailed pieces in between to get further, because you can have a great season. You can have, a lot of star power, a lot of guys that are Pro Bowlers and all that. But it comes down, I tell you, playoff football is a different type of football. It comes down to like the small things then.
Absolutely. And the Chiefs have crushed that, right?
Yeah. And they do it, I mean, they do it without like a lot of star power.
Yeah, just Travis and Mahomes, because they got rid of Tyreek, right?
Yeah. I mean, they have some good guys, but they don't ever have like stacked receiving room, stacked DBs. There's not really ever a situation where they're like super stacked. There's like a couple key star pieces, and I think they just do the details really well.
Right. That's a good point. They're like the Spurs of the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, but it's one of those things, you see it from afar, you got to respect and you got to understand like what you have to do to beat a team like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's one of those things that if you love the game, you respect stuff like that when you see it.
Absolutely. Have you played against them yet in the playoffs?
Not in the playoffs. Regular season though, yeah. And
you could tell they were a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. It's just like, why? Sometimes you're just like, why? How did that happen? Why did that happen?
They blew you out?
No, it's never been a blowout, but tight games, or maybe you're up a couple scores and then all of a sudden it's like, yo, what? Like they're winning? I could have swore we were up. And yeah, it'll probably come down to the wire. I think they've been in nail biters like all season this year too.
A lot of their games are close.
Yeah, and look at them. They find a way to come out on top with the little things. So like, you gotta try and like beat a team like that from the gate, like out the jump. You gotta just tear them down, tear their mental. I mean, it starts up top. You tear their mentality down, and then execute, minimize all the different like penalties and all those things, turnovers. You can't have those. So yeah, I'm excited to play them.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that game, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude, what's next for you, and where can people keep up with you?
Yeah, for me, I mean, we're doing a lot of good stuff. We're doing a lot of good stuff in the community with my foundation, I Am Gifted Foundation. So, besides football, I have a big passion for using that platform and using everything that I'm blessed to have to help others, serve others, and give back and spread love and positivity in the world. And, we just, through everything that we do, we try and just continue to bring home that message and bring about mental health awareness, make sure that everyone knows that they have a gift within. They just have to find it, embrace it, and use it to shed light in the world.
Love that, man. Let me know the next event for the foundation. I'll be there.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
we'll be the next event. We will be at the Sunrise Children's Hospital.
Nice.
Doing a little scavenger hunt.
I love it.
With the kids and trying to put some smiles on their faces.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there, and we'll link it below if anyone wants to donate. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, guys. Check out the links in the description. See you next time.